Hello, I'm Sam from Jessup Says. The focus of my channel is to share and educate how to buy less, buy better. It's about how we can make smarter and more informed decisions before we purchase to ensure that whatever you've purchased is actually fit for purchase and is made to last. In menswear, this means considering things like materials, cut, manufacturing, and understanding what style is timeless. It's not about having a capsule wardrobe, it's about having a range of items that perfectly fit your needs and your style. My hope is that the more people who understand and embrace this kind of approach, the more sustainable our future will be. And ultimately, the more enjoyment you'll get out of the items that you purchase. So you're looking for a shoe that's extremely versatile. Something that you can wear to a wedding, to work, or wear on the weekend. Maybe you want something that is a little unique, not just your standard Oxford or Derby. Finding something that suits all these situations can be quite tricky, but it's not impossible. In late 2019, I was in this exact same situation. I had my own wedding coming up, and I wanted to add some shoes to my collection that I could wear no matter what the occasion. Enter the monk strap. In 2019, with my wedding looming, I decided that I needed a new pair of shoes. I am admittedly a footwear guy, a footwear enthusiast, you might say, and I wanted something that was special and unique, but also something that was versatile beyond the day of my wedding. Now, I love loafers. There's an article on my website, jessupsays.com, saying that it's my favorite shoe. And that's true. But I wanted something different to a loafer. And I saw monk straps as sort of an in-between of a loafer and an Oxford. And to me, that's what they are. At the time, in late 2019, all I had was a pair of Allen Edmonds 5th Avenue cap-toe Oxfords, and they were in a coffee brown, a lovely shoe. And they were pretty good for my daily wear and the use case that I had at the time. I wasn't actually very fond of wearing these with jeans or chinos, and I wanted something a little bit more special for my wedding day. As for a true derby, I'm not actually a huge fan of the style. I find them less aesthetically pleasing to look at for some reason. They're typically a little bit more chunky in their design and less sleek than something like an Oxford and loafer. I've honestly just never really found a use case or a time where I wanted to wear a derby over an Oxford or a loafer, or a pair of boots for that matter. I do, however, have a pair of split toes from Carmina, which are fairly beautiful. These ones right here. Pretty. So, what are monk straps? Tracing the origins of the design is actually a little difficult to nail down. Many opinions and perspective has been shared online, and I've tried my best to filter through and figure out what I think is the most likely. It's most likely that they were originally worn by monks in the Swiss Alps. These monks had fairly hard lives. They did a lot of farming and walking around the steep mountainsides and cliffs. Having walked through the Swiss Alps myself, from a place called Lowndes to Meermin in the middle of winter, I was only wearing a pair of Palladium boots, which are not insulated, they're not welted in any way, there's no leather in the construction. Needless to say, my feet nearly fell off. I was desperately in need of some leather and insulation between myself and the snow. From this, I'm assuming that the monks in the Swiss Alps needed some sort of hardy, more substantial footwear, and they designed what we would call an early day monk strap. Simple to put on, easy to use, and much more insulative than a sandal that they may have had otherwise. The modern design was actually popularized by John Lobb with their fairly stunning William model around the 1940s. More recently, the design has peaked in popularity in 2016, which is pretty evident if you have a look at any photos of Peter Warmer at the time. I decided I wanted a pair of monk straps. Now comes the exciting part. I started to research where I wanted to buy them from. My focus is always about value, and specifically where you can get a product that is built to last at a price that's fair for that product. I found that for most footwear, this tends to be around 300 Australian dollars or about between 200 and 250 US dollars. I look for things like Goodyear welted shoes and as much leather as possible in the construction of the shoe. Look for things like full grain leathers for the upper. Look for things like full grain leather for the uppers, insole, footbed, a shank for stability, leather welts, a quality sole, something like leather or Day-Night or Vibram or Vibram, something that has been proven to work over time. Personally, I like leather soles, but if you live in somewhere particularly wet, then there are many other rubber outsoles that are appropriate, like I just named a few from Day-Night, Vibram, really depends on what you're after. For simplicity, I've broken down my options into 3 main price points. This is entry, sweet spot, and high roller. At each price point, there's a different set of features and a different value that price point has to offer. First, let's talk about entry level. This is where someone might enter into purchasing higher quality footwear, someone who doesn't want to spend a lot of money, but is really interested in buying a good quality product that's made to last. At this price point is Meermin. Meermin is a family-owned and operated company based in the traditional home of Spanish footwear, Mallorca. They use leather from extremely reputable tanneries, and all of their shoes are Goodyear welted. The focus of their company is on radical affordability, and they deliver on this promise, in my view. People who I've recommended them before, including my brother, say that they're pretty difficult to wear in, and the first little while is not that comfortable, but over time they do become extremely comfortable. If this sounds like the right fit for you, check it out. I've put a link in the description below to have a look at the Meermin website and a few different options that they have in terms of monk straps. Sweet spot. The name probably gives itself away. This is where I personally look at buying shoes and the sweet spot of value, in my view. In this sweet spot, we have 2 of my favorite brands, which are Carmina and Crockett & Jones. Both offer a range of different monk straps, from very clunky and quite chunky designs to things that are very, very sleek and used for, high quality business suit meetings and so on. Both of these brands hit that sweet spot for value. And by that, I mean that they're built to last, used very high quality leather, high quality construction methods, and what you're missing out on between these and something like a high roller option is actually just the hand features and all the hand work that goes into something like an Edward Green or a John Lobb, or a bespoke maker that might actually hand sew or hand stitch some of the details. In my view, that's a lovely thing to have, but not something that's essential to part of my wardrobe, especially when I'm expecting to wear these shoes for the next 30, 40, 50 years. Those hand details, although they're nice and personable to me, in my opinion, they're not really relevant to the overall lasting quality of that shoe. So hence why I choose Carmina or Crockett & Jones when I'm looking for a really good value, really, really high quality shoe. In saying that, if you are a high roller and you just want the nicest pair of ready to wear shoes, then you're probably already looking at someone like Edward Green or John Lobb. As I mentioned earlier, the John Lobb William model is a perennial classic, and it's considered the first of the modern era of monk strap shoes. Having seen them in person, they are stunning. They have palladium finished buckles and insanely tight stitching across the entire shoe, and really they are finished to perfection. Not to be outdone, Edward Green offers a model called the Westminster, which is equally iconic. They use a beautiful calf leather and layers of handwork to build up a deep patina. My personal experience with Edward Green is that they are at the very top end of leather and finishing, and my Edward Green Galways are pretty much the best boots I've ever owned in my life. Now, a little bit more detail about what I've chosen. I chose the Crockett & Jones Lowndes, I'm probably butchering that, in a dark brown calf, and they're on the 348 last. They are sleek and have a beautiful deep color with a square toe, which actually adds to the overall formality of the shoe. I decided that a single strap model was too sleek for daily use and too sleek for the weekends that I was thinking I was going to wear these shoes. And the chunky designs that might be more casual were actually not really suitable as a wedding shoe. I chose Crockett & Jones in a small part because they're accessible here in Melbourne, Australia, through Double Monk. At the time, I'd recently acquired a pair of Crockett & Jones sky boots, and I really loved them. They were beautifully made, had no blemishes or issues, and they were basically, in my eyes, perfection. Bang for buck, I believe that Crockett & Jones offer the best footwear in the world. They also have a huge range of footwears. They have monk strap boots, they have monk strap country shoes, they've got things like grained leather, storm welts, you name it, they've got a monk strap version of that. For my need, I just wanted something that was gonna be really awesome on the wedding day, have some great memories created in them, and then I'd be able to wear them for the rest of my life. That was really my goal. So I set it on the Lowndes. And look, if the Lowndes isn't for you, that's fine. What I'm saying is that Crockett & Jones have basically an endless catalogue of different options that you could go for if you were interested in Crockett & Jones and you were interested in a monk strap, but this design wasn't going for you. So there you have it, the monk strap. I like to finish off my articles on my website, and I think I'm gonna do them for my videos as well. A little bit of a conclusion, which I like to call Jessup Says. Now, I guess the Jessup Says point of this video is that investing in footwear, to have something that you can wear for a long time and something that's very versatile, so not just wearing it once a year, you're actually wearing it regularly. Finding a shoe that fits that kind of criteria can be quite challenging, but it is possible. You just need to know where to look and what to look for. In my view, the monk strap is a fantastically versatile shoe. It's not as fancy as an Oxford, but it's not as casual as I might consider a loafer. So it really hits that sweet spot of versatility, being able to be worn literally at any occasion. As for where to buy them, I like Crockett & Jones, but I've mentioned a few other brands which you're welcome to look at, and I'm sure there'll be links in the description below to check out what those brands have to offer. Anyway, first video, quite exciting. Hope to make a few more and look forward to seeing you in them in the future. Cheers, thank you.